Hey y'all, and how are you doing? As I speak within this video, I pray that you hear my heart. I pray that God gives you understanding in depth with what I'm about to say. And honestly, y'all, it's a part of my testimony. I'm just being so honest with y'all. We go through stuff in life that we didn't even know we were going to deal with. Sometimes we know that we're going to deal with something bad because, bad decisions make bad consequences. So we know what's to come with those things. But to be put in a circumstance within an environment and it was outside of your choice, and you grow up in that, and you're trying to like level up mentally to get out of that's not easy, bro. That is not easy. And so here's what I want to let y'all know directly. Men and women, please be mindful with whom you had kids with. Please be mindful with to whom you marry. It is not fair unto you or your children to have a parent that verbally abuses them, who makes them feel unsafe, who physically abuses them. That is not fair unto you and your children. It is not fair. It's not fair. And I'm just being so honest, bro. Sometimes we don't see what we get ourselves into. Sometimes we don't have that preview or wisdom to discern, like, hey, I don't need to make those decisions. But I'm telling you right now, you need to pray to Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, to be in a bad marriage is like 1 foot away from hell. I've seen people deal with that. I've seen the kids deal with that. I'm a product of that. It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And it's not fair to your children. I'm saying this now as an adult to another young woman or young man who has a spouse that's verbally abusive to their children, who is physically abusive, financially domineering and controlling, like they take control of finances and use it to their advantage. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that instability, that don't put your kids through that. Because what I've recently come to learn, like in the past 2 weeks, those traumas that we experience as a kid, I'm just being honest, in my experience, it's not that easy to get out of. It's not that easy to get out of all the time. Like, it's really not. And I'll say this too. You never know what people be going through. Behind the smile, behind the frown, you don't know what people go through. So be polite, or just get out their way, or just leave them alone. Don't even say nothing out the way to them. If you do speak to them, and I pray you do it from a genuine place, ask for understanding. And I pray that you help them. And pray for them. But again, I beg of y'all, as human beings, be mindful whom you have kids with. Be mindful whom you marry. That trauma, that heartbreak, that verbal abuse, the mental abuse, the physical abuse, that stuff is not worth it. It's not worth it. And I can speak from experience, from different friendships I've been in. Like, for example, there's been a time in my life where God was like, you need to leave them alone because they is not it for real. And I was so caught up at the time with wanting friends. And sure enough, the cat's out the bag, literally, pun intended. Them jokers was not what they was just not right. They was not it in their spirit. And that's my time and mental energy trying to heal from something God told me not to get into. It happens, but I'm just being honest. At this point in my life, I ain't doing it again. And I'm positive you ain't doing it again either. It's not healthy. It's not wise. Again, I tell you, please be mindful whom you have kids with. Please be mindful of whom you are marrying. Those red flags, do not ignore them. Do not ignore those red flags. And ask all the questions that you want to ask. You're not, oh, I'm getting in a business. Get in a business, because if you don't get in a business at the front end, you're going to be the victim at the back end. And that's, again, not fair to you and your children. It's not fair. Don't do yourself like that. Love yourself. And if you have a hard time with doing that, just think, this is how I have to think about it sometimes. Well, since I don't feel like it now, I'm going to just do the healthy physical actions thereof. Like, for example, sometimes, like, you need to lose weight. You may not want that salad, but honey, you're going to have to eat that salad just for your future self. I really cannot stress this enough. Be mindful with whom you have kids with, and please be mindful and please be aware of what you are marrying. Bad relationships can be life-hindering, life-altering, or life-ending. I'm telling you from experience. Please, 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 please.